Hey YouTubers and gamers, he's back and it's another pickup video and it's been a while. Today I'm focusing on a hell of a lot of tat. Some oversized tat, but and some expensive tat, but some good tat all the same. So it's a lot of tat in this video, and in the background there's a wonderful soundtrack of a Tumble Dryer playing, so please excuse that. Just pretend it's like some sort of overpowered PC or something going on. Anyway, back to pickups. What we got for today? As always, start with a find of the month. It's George Ezra's first album. This one comes with a copy of comes with a CD too. It's got the classics such as Budapest, Barcelona, Listen to a Man, and you know, the first album. I've got another album of his as well, which has like got the Shotguns music on and stuff like that I like. But anyway, yeah, first album. That's a vinyl of the month. I've got a bit of DVDs to show you. First of all, some classic Battle of the Planets, or Gatchaman as it's known in Japan. There is a complete box set apparently, but it's very expensive. It's about £150. I'm not paying that money for just a bit of nostalgia. So there are these two volumes which have about, but in total between the two volumes there's about 25 episodes. So that's probably enough for me. They come in really nice packaging though, nice little boxes they are. They're really nicely presented actually. Nice artwork and stuff. So that'll do me. That'll do me for Battle of the Planets, because arguably, even if I was to get a full complete series of Battle of the Planets, arguably you better off. I would really rather have a Gatchaman with a multi-box set of Gatchaman episodes, because it's a bit more brutal. There's lots of real deaths and stuff. Whereas here they sort of made it kiddified. They had explanation scenes, and when the ships were getting blown up, they're saying there was only robots on board controlling those, not people and stuff. So it's a more sensorized, I suppose, versions these are really, even though there are additional footage of robots and stuff explaining what's going on. But anyway, but these ones we were watching when we were kids, weren't we? So that'll do me. While we're still with DVDs, there's a classic horror movie called The Keep. This is like some sort of third-party reproduction DVD of it type thing from an Australian release type thing. We really do need a Blu-ray copy of this, don't we, guys? Of the classic horror movie, The Keep. Amazing soundtrack. Some weird editing. But I thought this film was one of the scariest horror films, at the time. Really, I thought it was up there with American Werewolf in London. I did. Some amazing actors there is in there, like Ian McKellen, Scott Glenn, Alberta Watson, and Gabrielle Byrne. So there's some really good cast in this. It's a good movie, The Keep. Do try to watch it if you can, guys. But it's yeah, unusual story that. While we're talking about classic horror or of sorts, on Blu-ray, Escape from New York, Prince of Darkness, They Live, and The Fog. Some classic Carpenter's, John Carpenter's Blu-rays. These were all cheap. I got these before Christmas, to be honest. They're about £8 or £9 then. So that's that lot. Another DVDs collection. There was a TV series back in the early 80s called King Fig, and basically it involves this electrical repairman guy who life gets transformed when he meets up with a kind of an alien who's dressed as a sexy woman. There was no repeat series. There was only one season of this, but I remember watching this at a time, and I had a massive crush on her. I thought she was really sexy. But anyway, so there's a bit, nostalgia TV from my youth, I suppose, from the early 80s. If anyone can remember Keen Fig. While we're still doing with Blu-rays and stuff, from Zavvi, I was able to pick up the complete Matrix that has a new movie in it, and this is like the ultimate Deja Vu edition. I got this real cheap actually. This can go for a fortune on eBay and stuff. But I was able to get brand new from Zavvi for about, I think it was about £65, which is a pretty good price for this set. I'm a massive fan of the Matrix, but to be honest, I've been so busy, I've still not watched the first move, the new movie. And I got to play on and I must play on a PS5 that Matrix special mini game they did for PS5. I must play that. Let's continue with accessories. On a Saturn, this was about it was about £8 from the cash converters. It was like a third-party Saturn controller. It's the same style as the Japanese Saturn Model 2 with grey and blue, which is good because I've got a Japanese my Saturn, which I've got in the game room, well, not the game room, in the lounge. It's the same colour scheme as this. It's Japanese Model 2, so it's nice to have another controller, even though it's third party, but it feels good. It's by Logic 3, so it's not shit. I got this cheap at some point, I can't remember when. It's just the Xbox One controller type alarm clock thing. Again from cash converters. I wasn't too sure if this has been any good or not. It's like handset controllers, a bit like what you get on the Switch, but for iPad Mini. But if you use a USB-C extension cord, you can actually extend it and use it with any iPad, I suppose, and just use this like remote controls, I suppose. So sometimes, you know, if you want to use controllers on the tablets, it's a bit tricky. It's not perfect. It wasn't a lot of money. It was about £8 or something. Would I recommend one? Probably not really. Another bit of nostalgia. The Star Trek annual. I remember buying this as a kid. The pages are really good condition. It was only about £2 or £3 delivered. But I just remember the iconic artwork. And you know, all the printing where it's all like dots, like dot matrix type stuff, I suppose. I just thought this was amazing. There's some dart holes in this book, so obviously somebody was being thrown darts at it. So some naughty youth has done that. But aside from the dart holes in the book, on both sides, it's in pretty good condition really. Apart from that, but for £2 or £3, something from 1978 or 77. So that's what's that? About 46 years ago. Yeah, that's pretty old, isn't it? And again, I had that annual new as a kid. Okay, Joe Gaming Girlies. I showed this. So I've got it from Amazon. It's like a plastic shell for your PS4 controller. But in the Resident Evil style. It wasn't a lot of money. I think it's about £8 or £9. It's just for Resident Evil collection more than anything else. It looked nice actually when Joe had got it out, but I'll probably keep it all in a box, being me. Strictly Limited. That's a nice little gift to a lot of people. I know Dylan Hypertrigger showed his. Basically, it's a book of all the games that they've released over the last 5 years. And it's all free type thing, and it's really nice actually because it's got artwork from all the games, and it's a bit of text as well. It's a nice little reference book, I suppose, an art book. Take Note Limited Run. Maybe you should think about doing something like that, but if you did, you'll probably charge a fortune for it. And it won't be complete. But anyway, but for free, that's a nice little gift I thought. Because obviously I have bought a lot of games from them in the past. Okay. The Analog Pocket. I've got one on order. When it'll come, God knows, but I've got one on order with the dock and everything. And I know there's it's all been hacked and everything, so you can play a lot of arcade games and shit on it, so that'll be good when it comes. But I wanted a protective case for it. Analog have made a plastic shell for it, which is okay if you just want to put it in there and keep it looking nice once. But if you want to keep playing with it and taking the device out, I would have thought if you keep taking it in and out of that plastic shell, it's going to, you know, either crack or scratch the console at some point. So, you know, using it once may look nice as long as you don't keep taking it in and out of a shell. But I thought, no, I want a more practical case. So I was looking to see if there's, you know, a genuine official one, and there isn't. But there's a company which I bought a few bits from in the past called Retro 6, and they do lots of stuff for gamers. And this is actually a Sega Game Gear case. And the reason why I've gone for a Game Gear case instead of just a Game Boy Pocket case, which they do as well, is I wanted a bit of extra storage space for all the accessories that come with the Analog Pocket. And so I've got the soft pouch for a Game Boy to go in here. So obviously the Analog Pocket will fit in there, and with a bit of a storage space for all the other bits and stuff. So I thought, you know, that's probably a nicer way of doing it. The soft pouch was about £5. This case was about 15, so it's about 20 quid. Give it, and you may say that's a lot of money for a case. Well, if you're paying a fortune for the Analog Pocket, you want to keep it nice, don't you? So it makes sense to get myself a decent case, and it is hard. This will stop it from getting messed about. Okay. What shall we do next? Got a couple of Switch games. Got I think I got this from Amazon Japan or PlayAsia, one of the two. It is Bullet Soul Double Soul Pack. This is a classic cave shooter box set. It's all been done at Noob. Comes with a CD soundtrack and other extras and stuff. A couple of CDs that there is, and booklet and stuff, which is probably all Japanese. I actually got a box set for the Xbox 360 port of this as well, so I thought, you know, I must get the Switch box set, and it's you know, keeping it minty. And then another box set which a lot of people have got is the Fire Emblem Engage box set. I got this from Argos. I had about £50 worth of vouchers, so that ended up being about, what was it, about £3 difference, about £70 or £80. So yeah, that's from Argos. Happy to have that for the Fire Emblem collection. For PS3, I've got two other editions of this: a standalone edition and like a steelbook edition. But there's also a Castlevania Lords of the Shadows Ultimate Limited Edition Collector's Edition, which has like a little death mask figurine type thing, or statue, what you want to call it. The game plays all in English, but the game packaging itself is in Italian. It was about the £95 mark from Amazon, but all complete in good condition. So it's not a cheap collector's set. This, so if you see it less for that than that, guys, by all means pick it up, and you know, you'll definitely get your money back. But it's not a cheap collector's set. That's for PS3, so I really wanted it. Okay, let's start doing some other accessory bits. Okay, got two of these. At Games. At Games have got a rather bad reputation, haven't they, for making trashy like clone consoles and stuff for the Mega Drive and other and Ataris. But over the past few years, they've really turned that around in terms of creating tech that is actually of good quality. And one of the things they've put out recently, which I've got, which I didn't know existed, but I've ordered it, and It's not one I've seen in the shops, but I had to get it from eBay, and I think it's imported from the States or Europe. And it's one of the blast hand set things which come with a sort of USB or HDMI dongles rather. And on it is quite a number of 12 built-in games, but it includes the Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back NES games, which is really neat because it's not something you can normally get. I guess these are licensed copies. These aren't like a RetroPie type thing. So to get licensed copies of Star Wars games, I have to do it being a Star Wars nut. This was about, with shipping, it wasn't cheap. It was about £24. I'm sure you can, if you saw these in the shops, they'll be about half that. But the Star Wars one, I've seen all the other ones, but not the Star Wars ones. I had to get. And they did that, but also for Star Wars, they've done the Legends Flashback. Basically, it comes with two Mega Drive type controllers, which is a bit like a RetroPie, but it comes with a memory card slot, and on the you can add additional games using the memory card, but also you got rewind functions, save states, and on here you got so many good licensed games on here. You got the Super Nintendo versions of all the Star Wars games, all three of those, and quite a few other good games on here as well, really, like Zombie Ate My Neighbours and lots of other classic SNES games on here too. Aladdin, some arcade games. It's also got a licensed copy of Fix It Felix, which is good to have as well, because getting a licensed copy of that is not easy. So yeah, it's and a lot of the feedback and reviews on this particular machine are quite good, and it wasn't loads of money. This wasn't. I think it was about £30 mark or something like that. Again, I had to get it off the internet, and I think it may have came from Europe or yeah, I think it was or America, because it's got the like American. It's got the original American plug, but they put in a free adapter thing for the UK 3-pin terminal. So yeah, I just thought it's that's it really. It's, and the controllers, they're good, not mushy. They're okay actually. So sometimes you think some of these controls are just rubbish, but no, they're actually quite good. So that's for my sort of. It's not a mini console. It's just another. I don't know what you want to call it, a console of sorts. But I said I got it for Star Wars. Licensed copies of the SNES games, Star Wars SNES games. I've got the SNES games, but being a Star Wars nut, I had to have it. And like I said, it's not rubbish. Okay. Okay. What's this? It's a brown box, and in it is my grey Saturn disk drive. And the reason why I put the disk drive for that in here and not in the Saturn itself is because I've got the Venue. Is that right? Venue. Optical disc emulator device, circuit board, or what you want to call it. And Tootie UK, Stu, he also, Diamond Geezer, he done us a copy of his ROM set with everything. So that's really, really helpful. It's 256 gigs of Saturn games. I probably will mess around with screen art on those now I've got the files and just get them to the Japanese covers I like. And so that's going to take some time to do, but I really appreciate everything you've done, Stu, for getting me those ROM set. That's really great. I really appreciate that, mate. So thanks for that. This is all installed in my Saturn device. Watch Tootie's video on tips on how to do it. Yeah, I got a cartridge, 3D mounted cartridge holder from the States, and this one was really well made and with good screw fittings, and it fitted in the machine firmly and sturdy with no problems, so that was good. And yeah, so my Saturn in the lounge is all modded in terms of, you know, having one set. In here I've got my other modded Saturn, which has got the disk drive, and I've got about another 3 or 4 Saturns as well, box and things. But so I've got my modded disk drive sat in here to play my original games, because I'm not getting rid of those, no way. And I'm still adding to those in some ways. So yeah, but it's nice to have a quick, easy access collection of Saturn games to have in the lounge, really connected to a big telly. What I did notice though, if you do go down the venue route, if you install everything and you notice that there's lots of slowdown on games, it might be because you may have a one of them. If you just double check that you haven't got one of the cartridges plugged into it, the Saturn. If you've got the pseudo Saturn cart, you may, you know, I had mine in to see if it would work, and it started up fine, but it was massive slowdown on like a few games like Alien Trilogy, lots of slowdown on video, and all the audio was quite slow and whack on a lot of games as well. But as soon as I unplugged that cartridge, those games worked fine. And so unless you're playing the specific SNK games where you need a 1 megabyte cart, or the Capcom games where you need a 4 megabit cart, I would avoid, you know, having the cartridge plugged in if you're using the Venue. If that makes sense, really, because it just messes around. It doesn't like it. Okay. But apparently that's true for playing those games on a normal Saturn. You make sure you got a white Mega Drive cartridge RAM plugged in, because otherwise you can get problems if it's not the right one, apparently. Okay. Try that in a minute. Little clue. Analog Pocket, I told you I've got ordered. I've got another device from Analog on order, which I thought I'd get in while they still exist. This is a clue to what that might be, but I've got myself a SNES Retrobit 8-bit receiver. Plus I went for another Pro 2 Bluetooth gamepad type controller to go with it. So what could that be for, guys? I've got the Mega Drive one already, so what could it be? Not too hard to guess, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's something I've treated myself to, which will come some point, I hope. What I'll do with that 8-bit do. Got a white Ultimate Bluetooth controller, which is ideal for Switch and Windows and other Bluetooth devices. This is a really nice controller, guys. I'm going to get a black one. I got the white one because it was about £10 cheaper at the time when I ordered this, but I thought I will get a black one as well, just so I've got both. These are nice alternatives to especially the Nintendo Pro controllers. Really nice controllers these are, guys. I do recommend them. The dock, this is like a charging dock underneath it, and there's a little light underneath it, which makes it look quite cool. So the white one and the black ones are quite nice. So I do recommend those. While we're looking at controllers from Retro Fighters, I've got the GameCube one that was Daily Retro Dale highlighted these. This is the sort of one, PlayStation inspired one with both analog controls on the bottom as opposed to Xbox 360 style. You can get either. I opted for the PlayStation style, but I don't think it matters too much, really, does it? But it's just nice to have another wireless controller, nice alternative to the Wavebird. This works with a Switch, Wii U, and GameCube. So I thought it was. I think it's here. Yeah, here it is. It's actually quite nice. I've got no issues with it. It's nice, you know. The buttons are fine. yeah, good build quality. I've got no issues or qualms with that whatsoever. So I recommend it. The original GameCube controller is okay, but if you fancy something different, I do recommend this as well, and they're not too expensive. Just one random box set. I got that in Smith's a few days ago. It was reduced to £25. I'm honest, my daughter loves that game. Comes with a plushie and a few other collectible bits to it. I already had this on PS5, but I thought I did have a PS4 physical copy, so I thought why not for £25, because you know it's still about £20 in a lot of the shops. Just as basic PS4 copy, never mind a collector's set. So for that, I thought why not. Okay. This came from Amazon. Was it Amazon? Yes. I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. Yeah. It is the Astro City Vertical. And Sega's really pushed up the price on these. The first one was about 140, 150 quid. This is over £200 now. But what's good about this, even though you can probably get a cheaper Japanese copy, this is European edition for Western market, so it's all in English packaging. Yeah, so it's good to have a licensed English packaging copy of the Astro City V. It's a fantastic machine. I prefer this to the first one because it's top down space shooters. That's what I like. And so with that, I also got a gamepad controller. I didn't have this before. Again, this is like a European English packaging version. I got this quite cheap. I think it's about £30 delivered. And this way. Also, I got. Excuse me. I showed this and probably pick up that thing. I need to have a sort out in this room. Otherwise, it's not always as bad. Finally bit a bullet and got the arcade stick. This is actually the pink one, and there's a European seller on Amazon selling this for £120. I had quite a few still in stock, and I think I still got them all English, pink, and it's beautiful, and it's first class piece of kit. It's really heavy and well built, and it is a thing of beauty, and I highly recommend this, guys, if you've got any of those Sega Astro City minis. I can see this when they do stop selling them and making them, going for silly money at some point. £100 not cheap, but for a decent arcade stick of that quality, it's well worth it in my opinion. I know there's issues about the fact that it only works with those consoles, and unless you specifically mod it, and there's ways around that, I believe. But I'm going to keep that as stock because I've got so many other arcade sticks to use if I have to. Okay, there's that. In the previous pickup, I've already showed you the Potato mini console with the Egret 2, which I got, which is another nice piece of kit. But I thought, as I was getting that arcade stick, should I get the Taito one? It's not Taito, it's Taito, isn't it? Always remember Taito. Yeah, that's it, Stu. So I got this, and so there a minute. This is heavy as well, even though it's relatively a lot smaller than a full-size arcade stick. It's plenty big enough, and good quality controls, a lot of weight on it. I got this for 60 quid, which I thought was, not bad at all. I know there's like a little hand controller as well, which I may get at some point. I'm not going to get the other arcade stick, which has got like a roller ball and some extra games with it. I'm not really that bothered by those actual games. But I've been a shooter fan. I wanted this type thing. So yeah, I certainly have got the means to play those games in a way they should be, with, in a decent setup. 3 more things to show, guys. 3 more things to show. Okay, I was in CX 2 weeks ago, at my local CX in Lakeside, and was chatting about retro stuff. Because I noticed that they had some retro boxes behind the counter, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing with those boxes?" And so they said, "Oh, we're throwing them out." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, we had a guy came in with a lot of Sega Saturn stuff and other retro stuff, but the boxes have been up in his loft and they smell, smell like an attic." And I said, "Well, us old, I couldn't say, was that us old farts, us old collectors, we don't mind that. We like that, the old attic smell, as long as we, a cardboard, anything to get a bit of cardboard." And I said, "Well, if you're going to throw that out, it's okay if I have it." He said, "Of course you can. You can have a box." And they had a box for something else as well. And I thought, "What are you doing? Is that going too?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, cool." And I asked him, "Well, what are you doing with the actual hardware itself?" "Oh, yeah, well, we was just saying that's the standard price. They're all relatively quite cheap. The 2 things were £12 each. So I thought I'd get those. And also have the boxes too." So what did I get for £12? I got the Sega Light Phaser. It's really tidy gun. There's no packaging or paperwork in here, so I've just got brown paper in here with it. But for £12, for box, I cleaned up perfectly fine. There's no big tears or dents. It might smell a bit like an attic, but then something that's about 30 years old or whatever, 35 years old, it would do, wouldn't it? And even though I've already got a loose Saturn steering wheel, to get a box one for £12, I thought, yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, there was a bit of a tear there, so I've just got the tested sticker covering it with a bit of black ink. You can't see it now, so there's a couple of little tear marks, but to be honest, because it was on the black artwork, I just cut it in with a black marker pen. Really, you may say that's sacrilege. This is never going to be a museum collector's piece because it's not that, it's not minty. It's just for private collections, and so for me that's perfectly good enough. And so I got a nice Monty boxed copy, boxed steering wheel. I got a loose one as well, like I said, which I use for actual use. More tote in the game room, which I don't really have room for, but hey ho, that's the perils of being a hoarding game collector. Talk of which of hoarding, my last pickup is a console. It came all the way over from Japan. It works fine. It was about £150 with shipping, and I did not get. Well, actually, I did get a from FedEx. A bill from FedEx, it's right to you in advance. Says, "Oh, this is a bill, FedEx, £50." One tip, and it worked. And I've done this twice with FedEx. Don't pay it, because they never follow it up, and they still deliver your things. If it was a case they weren't going to deliver it up, or they sent me another letter, because I can always pretend I never got the first letter. You know, I have to pay it if I have to. But to be perfectly honest, I really think FedEx just don't bother chasing these up because they're pretty busy and they're pretty incompetent too. So they just have wasted for staff manpower chasing these things. They just accept that some people will pay it and some people won't, and they're happy with that. So that's what I found from experience, guys, with FedEx. If you get a bill through, just delay paying it and see what happens, because you may find that they don't chase it and you're fine. That's my tip of the day. Anyway, what did I get? I've got the white 40 gig PlayStation 3. Now, we did not get white PlayStation 3s in UK, not the fat ones. And the reason why I wanted this is because, one, it's white, it's pretty cool. Two, it's 40 gigs, and I've gone for all the particular variant models of the PS3 because I love the PS3. So I've got the relaunch PS3, I've got the 80 gig PS3, and I've got this 40 gig PS3. I've got all the slims and the super slims, various colours and all sorts. So I've got quite a few PS3 consoles, to be perfectly honest. But I wanted a nice neat 40 gig one, and to be perfectly honest, to get a box 40 gig one that's working in the UK, it involves a lot of hunting, especially if you want it nice and boxed, and obviously it would have been cheaper, but to be honest, I don't mind paying a bit more to get a nice minty one that's sexy and cool. And it's another Japanese PS3 console, so it's handy if I need another way of playing certain games. I know PS3 is region free, but the PS2 side are they? So I can play the Japanese PS2 games on here and the Japanese PS1 games on here. So if I wish to, I don't need to because I've got other ways of doing that. I've got my Japanese PS2 up there, as well as having a modded fat PS2 with loads of games on. So it's not an issue really playing the PS2 games for me. So more for a game room, which I got to somehow find space for. Yes, but it's nice, isn't it? That's what I say to myself. Don't tell the wife. Okay, mate, guys. Before I fall over the mountains I've got in here, that's my pickups I'm going to do in this video today. I have deliberately not done many modern games. I have got quite a lot of modern games to show you, and I've also got quite a fair bit of retro games to show you too on another date. So I'm going to do that probably in my next pickup video, guys. So I just wanted to do a more bulky stuff and get it out of the way so I can put it away back there in the game room, and it's not, you know, in the way so much. So there will be more pickups to show, but I'll probably leave that for a few weeks. Hope you're all doing well anyway. Was there anything else I wanted to say in particular today? Not really. But anyway, guys, you take care, and until next time, bye!